So, after looking at the entire roster of Return and Return, hey, did you know it's free? You decided to ditch all the characters who are big and strong, cool and collected, literally Virgil, and everything in between, just to pick the little gremlin character whose sole purpose in life is to be everyone's problem. And you know what? I'm with you on this one. So here I am, presenting an entire video dedicated to explaining how our abilities work, how they don't, and eventually figure out how to tie it all together. But, first of all, disclaimers. I am not a high-skilled gamer. I play the game casually, and in case it wasn't clear yet, not the best Leni player out there. Consider me as just that random dude in a bar who's willing to share what he knows about playing Leni just to kickstart your adventure of playing her. I'm also going to assume you know some standard Return and Return terms, like skill amp, weapon mastery, etc. If you don't, I've made other videos that bring them up in better detail, and you're free to watch them too, if you so choose. Okay, now that I've got that out of the way, let me try and help you understand how to play Leni. Leni's stats, at least compared to other supportish characters, actually gives her the leg up in terms of numbers. Not by a lot, mind you. She's not gonna walk into a group of 3 and expect to take them all out on her own, but it will help her out with giving them the slip, because this character is hilariously erratic. For weapons, she runs around the island with a pistol that scales with skill amp, giving her just the right amount of range to flirt with danger but still be just as annoying. Now, how is she gonna get away with all this? For that, let's go over her skills. Leni's passive allows allies that get hit by her skills. Oh, just to clarify, all of Leni's skills besides her ult affect teammates when they get hit by them. We'll go over each one, don't worry. To spawn a small teddy bear thing that hangs around for a few seconds with said ally. When that ally hits anyone, the teddy bear will join in and deal some extra damage. When that happens, the teddy bear disappears, but can be reapplied, and Leni's cooldowns get shorter a bit. Keep in mind that each ally can only have one teddy bear following them around. If you hit your ally with another skill, it will overwrite the previous teddy bear with a new one, and you lose out on the benefits that you could have gotten if it damaged someone. Leni's Q has her fire a big projectile forward while recoiling back a bit. If it hits an enemy, an ally, or just reaches maximum range, it'll explode. Enemies caught in that explosion will take damage, and if allies were in the explosion, they'll heal instead. This includes Leni too.
Hello, post-editing me here. I forgot to mention in the script that because the Q explodes even if it hits a teammate, you more likely than not you might have your explosion happen a little early because your teammate was in the shot. Yeah, be careful about that.
Her W has Leni leap forwards with a big hammer, which can go over walls, and slam the ground wherever she lands. If it hits an enemy, they take damage and are slowed. More so if you hit them dead on. Allies hit will also get slowed for a brief moment, and then start sprinting off with a pretty good movement speed boost, providing Leni with a boost too. Betcha you're starting to notice a theme now, eh? Her E blasts an air horn in front of her, likely rendering any poor son of a bitch in front of her deaf. If you hit an enemy, good old damage alongside a mean stun to knock them off their game. In terms of hitting allies, they and Leni get a pretty little shield for a few seconds. Her weapon skill allows Leni to get an on-demand surge of movement speed while also reloading her gun. For Leni specifically, you're mostly using this for the big boost of movement speed, and you don't really have to worry about how many bullets you have. Lastly, Leni's ultimate has her set up a spring that'll bounce both her and any enemies hit in a direction. She can decide where the spring goes and which direction it'll fly them into, and if an enemy gets tossed into a wall, they'll get a debilitating slow for a little bit. Leni doesn't though. It also doesn't let her hop over walls neither. You're better off using W for that. Despite being an ultimate, this skill behaves better as just an extra basic skill to harass your opponents with. So you're free to use it very liberally. And that's it. Literally. That's pretty much all of Leni's skills, not so roughly explained. Go! Do a crime!
I don't want to do this no more. Get ready to slumber. Brother, go home. I got you, homie.
Nice.
Now that I've explained what this little shit is capable of, let's look into what all of this allows her to get away with in a real match. So besides getting yourself a loadout that you're comfortable with, I recommend doing one more act before really digging in. What you're gonna want to do is grab 2 crayons, your preferred colors naturally, then jam one in each nostril and breathe in real deep. Once you have the wax tucked away nicely in the quickly smoothing creases of your gray matter, your Leni game should increase drastically. Where you see, your objective becomes less, I'm going to obliterate the gamer who is on the opposing team, and more, God let me live another day and I'm about to make it everyone's problem.
Yikes!
Similar to how most of the other support characters play in this game, you will not be the one dealing any substantial damage, and more so just make everyone besides your team hate you. Bear in mind that I'm not saying you shouldn't try to deal damage. For the love of God, please do. What I'm saying is, Leni has no shortage of buffs, heals, all the 9 yards, and that you should abuse the hell out of that. Because each skill has an effect on both your enemies and your allies, try to find a way to make your skills hit both at the same time. That way, not only are you helping your fellow gamers with destroying the opposition, you're also keeping them alive for a little bit longer, which can make or break certain matchups. Leni's entire playstyle is to be disruptive. Weave back into the front line and quickly retreat back, only to do it all over again, just to see how red your enemies' faces get. Now, for all of this talk is for whenever you're in a fight. I haven't even gotten to how annoying this stinker can be when you're trying to run away from her. Speed boosts, CC, a big hop that you cannot stop. If anything, running away from Leni can feel worse than trying to fight a team that she's backing up. Okay, so after all of this yapping, you've likely come to the conclusion that if you play Leni, or spot another one in the wild, she's going to be the target. Public enemy number 1. To that I say, you are falling for her schemes! This tiny creature of the night wants you to try and get her, because she's too slimy to lock down! You think you might have finally gotten her in your grasp, only for her to flip you off, stun you, knock you back, all while she's jumping over a wall that you likely can't follow her through. In the midst of all that, her team has been slashing away at your back because you were that distracted with catching Leni. She knows that she's providing a lot of helpful backup, and she knows that you're about to pop a blood vessel if you spy her use another skill in front of you. Does she care? No, and neither should you! Be the problem! Start for the sake of starting shit. Just, be careful when you do. Leni's slippery, sure, but she can and will get caught eventually if she's not careful. As fun as it is to let loose and just hop all around the place and being an annoying fly, you still need to mind your cooldowns and make good use of your passive. Because Leni being in front of someone with no skills to her name is pretty much dead and buried then and there. So it's good to start off with a bit of restraint, and not go too ham, as tempting as it is. Nah, who am I kidding? We chose to play Leni, bro! Restraint? Where we're going, we don't need restraint. What we need is movement, action, the assault from our enemies. I'm about to let you in on a little secret. You know how I've mentioned earlier that Leni isn't going to be the one dealing most of the damage? Well, I lied to you. Leni can, in fact, start a whole bunch of trouble and still achieve blood on her hands. All you need is a new loadout, even more crayons, and finally, something a little more exciting. Hey, how's it going? It's been a while, sorry for being so slow. I've been lazy, so I'll try to speed it up. A lot of you like these videos I make, and I'm really grateful. Don't you worry, there'll be more to come in the near future. If I'm slow again, yell at my socials. Hey, did you know I stream sometimes? Come swing by and vibe with me and the rest of chat. Thank you and goodbye.